Hey y'all, welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. So the reunion gave nothing, in my opinion. I feel like Kimmy and Maurice were talking in circles, which just annoyed me. It's like, why are you on the reunion floor if you're not going to be talking about anything? You should have stayed home. And I know people will say there's a legal reason why they can't speak on it. Well, if you didn't do it, I don't think there's anything wrong in you saying where you were going to. It's not like anyone is asking you specifically if you were drinking from where you were coming from. No one did. This is questions surrounding your whereabouts, which shouldn't be that hard to answer, in my opinion. So I feel like this just shows that they can't really carry the show, because if you could carry the show, let's say Maurice can't even speak on it. Why couldn't Kimmy say, well, this happened, and keep it vague, but still give us something? She gave absolutely nothing. Maurice gave absolutely nothing when it came to their story. But let it be her giving all that energy to Melody, which I thought was completely unwarranted. And let's be clear, of all the rumors that you could have brought up about Melody Shari, you chose to bring up the rumor about an alleged BBL, which wasn't even a mainstream thing to begin with. Which to me tells me all I need to know about Kimmy. It's like you couldn't have brought other things up. That was the one that you wanted to bring up. Look at her, look at you. Respectfully, there is no comparison. I feel like it's very high school. It's like, of all the things that you could have come back with, that was what you came back with. Not looking good for you, Kimmy. The other thing that caught my attention was the way MArtell was handling the whole revenge piece situation. And I feel like I have lots to say about that, so I will probably post a different video dealing with that. But then let's just go back to Kimmy for a second. But before that, if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button, tap that bell button right next to it, and turn on all your notifications so you know every single time that I post or go live. And everyone, please like, share. Don't forget to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Everything I say in this video is alleged for entertainment purposes only, and in my opinion. All right, let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to say is Tisha looked really good. I have to give it to her. Tisha looked good. Melody looked good. The rest of them, I don't know what they were doing. They did not look good. They weren't serving anything. I always hate the way Kimmy looks every reunion. This time around, it wasn't an exception. The hair, the makeup, the dress. I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know what Destiny thought she was looking like that. But then again, if she's to be believed, she apparently had a wardrobe malfunction. So let's just give her some grace on that. But I didn't really like what Nell was wearing. I didn't really like Chris's outfit. I hated Chris's outfit. Like, it really irritated me. I don't know. Maybe it's the collar. Maybe it's the neckline. I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't good. And MArtell, per usual, came in a really tight suit and he could barely sit. That isn't even news because he does that every season. And if I said Marceau looked alright. Marceau never really looks great. So he looked okay. Anyways, now let's talk about Kimmi Maurice's business. Maurice started his speech talking about he feels like the castmates found him guilty, even if the court of law requires it to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. I hear what Maurice is saying, but at the same time, the court of public opinion are not going to wait for you to be found guilty before they sentence you. In my opinion, that's just how it works. What gagged me is more Kimmy then chiming in to say that no one really cared if he was okay. And I feel like nobody should be able to blame Melody for not checking in on Maurice. Because let's be clear, I will not check on Maurice too if I had the situation that Melody's grandma had. Plus, the next day, he's in the club, bottle in hand, everyone is shouting free Reese. Of course, I'm not going to be cool with that. There is no way I would be calling to check on Maurice. If anything, Melody did what a friend would do, which is, I don't see it for your husband because that is stupid, but I'm going to check on you, which she did. She literally checked in on Kimmy and asked if she was doing all right. So I think she did way more than most people would do. And let's be clear, I do not believe Kimmy has ever checked on Melody when Melody was going through this whole revenge plea and there was all of these allegations and all these things in the social media space. I'm shocked Kimmy did not even send a message to Melody to check in. So I don't know why she wants to act like no one even checked in or whatnot. Say what you want about Carlos, and you guys know I give Carlos grief on this channel when he does something wrong, but I feel like Carlos did try. Carlos did try to get Kimmy and Maurice to work, but they chose not to work. If anything, it felt like there was a point where Kimmy was almost getting a little bit spicy with Carlos. And I'm just like, you have all this venom, all this energy for other people, but the man that you should be having all the venom for, which is so shocking to me. Carlos kept asking after Black, where did he go? He was basically saying he was on his way home to Kimmy. Carlos was asking, okay, was he alone? He kind of kept it like, oh yeah, he was the only person there. And then Carlos was like, was Kimmy the last woman he saw before he got arrested? He said, absolutely. But I feel like when it came down to actually addressing these issues, they chose not to. Kimmy then also tries to say, yeah, she pulled up to the office to pick up something. Isn't that different from what she said in the interview? I thought she said she pulled up to the credit one or whatever to actually check because Maurice didn't come home. So which is it? And this is the thing about these cast members, right, that frustrates us, or at least frustrates me. It's like these people don't want to share their real lives. They don't want to work. They're used to Melody being the one working. And I just think that's just ridiculous. Can there be such a big story about Maurice going and getting a DUI and somehow he's managed to gloss through it and then have all this energy at the reunion? And I think Carlos is too close to it. I think there needs to be another reunion host who does not care, who is not out here trying to act like he's friends with these people. Because even Kimmy kept saying, hey, friend. I'm like, not hey, friend to your so-called producer, your head producer. What is that about? And I think this is why the show is not going to succeed, because Carlos is too busy making friends and wanting to be liked than doing his job, in my opinion. If it was a head producer who could stand on his 2 feet, he would have said, Kimmy and Maurice, I understand it's a legal matter, but then I need some clarity. There are certain things you can at least tell us. But instead, he kind of just let it slide, let Kimmy be a little pissy with him. I'm just like, that is so odd. He should have at least said, well, you're on a reality TV show, so you will be expected to share. And you're on a reunion, so you will be expected to share. It's funny how when roles were reversed, when Kimmy and everybody was coming for Destiny a while back, of course, Melody is not included, about her not really sharing her life. Like, we know that's the fact, but Carlos and everybody, from my recollection, were quick to call that out. So it's like, where is that energy now? Why can't you call it out now? I personally think Carlos doesn't like Destiny. You know, I understand why, but I think Carlos doesn't like Destiny. But did you guys notice that Carlos made Destiny sit next to him? And I'm just like, I felt like that is a disrespect to Melody. There was no reason for Destiny to be there. Bear in mind, we did not see Destiny say nothing the whole episode. Nothing came out of Destiny's mouth that added to the conversation. All she was giving was facial expressions. So I struggle to understand why, one, the reunion could not have started without her while she was trying to get her dress sorted. I feel like this just goes back to the whole workplace harassment thing, allegedly, in my opinion. Retaliation. Because why in the history of the show, nobody has ever sat right next to Carlos except Melody and MArtell. But now you put Destiny there and then you put MArtell on the other end. It looks odd and it looks intentional. And then knowing what we know, it feels very intentional. And it feels like this is just another way to try to slight Mel, because there was no reason for Destiny to be there. Destiny had nothing to add to any of the conversations that we had on this first part. I don't even know why there are multiple parts. They could have just squeezed it all into one. There was really nothing that this season gave that it couldn't have given one part reunion. Now we have to deal with having 2 or 3 parts. this whole reunion left us even more confused than we were about the whole Maurice and Kimmy situation. Now, I know that in real time, the whole case was dismissed, but just because the case was dismissed does not mean that he wasn't guilty. It just means they did not have enough evidence, in my opinion. So anything could have been the truth, and we don't know because no context was given to us at all about the DUI. And let's not forget the way Kimmy and Maurice were having the conversation. It was given that potentially they think Maurice has some sort of problem. Even the way Tisha and Marceau were talking about it. So I'm just saying, it's not adding up. And the whole time, did you guys pick up Tisha and Marceau's facial expressions when Kimmy and Maurice were trying to dodge everything? It's like they know that there is more to the story than is being told. But of course, because they're family, they're going to ride it out and say absolutely nothing. And this is why the show is not going to succeed, because they're not going to go against each other. They're going to be out here acting and defending each other and Scott's rise and protect the Scotts and all that kind of stuff. I did like how Carlos called it out and said that, she's taking a page out of the Scott's book and is now gaslighting. And I agree. Because everything was giving gaslighting. The whole reunion was a gaslighting episode, in my opinion. Especially when we talk about MArtell and everything he was doing. But I think that's going to have to be another video. Anyways, please let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell button right next to it so you know every single time that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.